Hello everyone and welcome back to Nexus Commentaries. Today we are bringing you the match between Uncomfortably Numb and Logical Decision from Division B West. The coin flip was won by Logical Decision and they chose to take first pick. The bans were Alterac and Infernal Shrines by Numb, and BOE and Towers of Doom banned out by Logical Decisions. Then Uncomfortably Numb, chose to go to Dragonshire, which is actually the most played map for both teams. So we should expect to see them both have a comfortable strategy that they go for on this map. So Logical Decision will have first pick, at least in heroic difficulty, because that's the only place I could find where somebody was posting these kind of stats for it. Dragonshire has played 8 games in heroic difficulty, and out of those 8 games, having first pick only gave you a 25% win rate, showing that having that last pick and the ability to counter pick things on that map is really important. Jumping over to hot slog stats for Dragonshire, we have getting the first and second Dragon Knight, an 84.8% win rate, getting a lot of that snowball, a lot of that early XP to get ahead and just keep going. Getting just the first dragon, though, was a 70.6% win rate. A very strong win rate indeed for just getting the first objective. And then the percentage of games that were ended with a Dragon Knight, which I found a little surprising, was only 40.8%. So most games, I'm guessing that most of the time what's happening is you're pushing the keep down with the dragon, and then you're ending the game by the time it times out or it's destroyed. So this was a handful of different stats there. I do not have a co-caster with me tonight, so we are just going to be listing rabies facts on the side there. I kind of skipped over that to begin with. From Logical Decisions, their most played are Johanna, Junkrat, and Thrall. And out of those, Johanna's really can be pretty good on this map. Lots of sustain, a lot of tankiness, very good health bar. 2 sustain on the bottom objective especially. They also played the Junkrat, which they're 4-2 on. We saw that in Yikes S tier. We know that they're super good on it. We can see if Logical Decisions pulls that out to kind of double soak, kind of roam around a little bit, try to cause some chaos. Very good at zoning out objectives as well, between the trap and the mine having 2 different tools for that. You also have Riptire, which is very good for AoE. Both Numb Decisions, Uncomfortably Numb, combining the teams here. Plays Malfurion, 4-3, very good sustain healer, has the root, has a lot of good options there. Plays the Junkrat as well. Both teams are 4-2 on the Junkrat, so it's definitely going to be a tight race on the Junkrat options there. As the draft is going to get pulled up, then we will go over their last top pick for Numb, which is actually Hanzo. Alright, got scared there for a second. That wasn't going to pull up. So the Hanzo, a very popular pick for Uncomfortably Numb. I see Logical Decision's name got cut off. That is my bad for not double checking that before. But Hanzo, they are 3-2 on the Hanzo for them, which is a very solid hero in general. And I'm trying to find the stat real quick. Who did it? Logical Decision actually played Zagara on this map not too long ago. We also play the Chen option, which is very strong. So we could see if they could opt into one of those. Expect at least some solo lane bans coming out from the teams. Anduin's actually going to be banned out by Logical Decisions here. Very solid healer. His passive is really his strongest part, really, in my opinion. The ability to cleanse and then pull people out of CC, very strong. Logical Decisions could be looking for an Ana pickup maybe instead. Could be looking for another healer that they enjoy playing. We see the Johanna banned out by Uncomfortably Numb, knowing that Logical Decisions prefers that, and it is 6-2 on that hero. So we could potentially denying that pick. Could be a target ban, could just be one that they're generally banning. It is the most played tank, I believe, in Division B right now. So that's definitely a comfort pick for a lot of those teams. Banning it out is never that bad. Generally referred to as the best tank that doesn't get banned. So banning it sometimes just is better because people tend to develop strategies with it. We see the Diablo banned out by logical decisions. Diablo is still very strong, very tanky when he has his souls, able to bang people in walls a lot in that bottom objective, or in the Bermuda Triangle, in fact, as well. Coming out from Uncomfortably Numb here, I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a Garrosh ban, or maybe a ban on the Soul Lane. They're actually going to ban out the Sylvanas. The Sylvanas, super good. I think with Merc Queen on this map, is able to snowball the bottom lane pretty heavily. You take the siege camp, you shove in with it, giving it that bonus damage. Maybe pick up a bruiser camp at some point. You're usually able to push like keep wall pretty early on in this game. Maybe even before the first objective is taken here. ETC picked up by logical decisions. A very strong tank right now in general. I believe the highest win rate tank at like 88% in heroic difficulty. I was going through like all the division sets I could find, and ETC definitely flaring up. Blizzard claiming that he's the highest win rate tank in the game, and 2 patches ago. And they actually gave him a couple nerfs on 1 or 2 talents. We actually see the Junkrat going over to Uncomfortably Numb. They will have that 4 and 2 Junkrat, and there is the Garrosh pickup for them. A lot of displacements coming up from them. Displacements tend to be overlooked a little bit in HOTS compared to other MOBAs in general. So seeing a lot of displacement picked up from Uncomfortably Numb, people may not be as used to playing around that. Tend to get hit by Junkrat mines a lot, especially. Tend to not play around the trap either. Tend to not be used to his burst and his wave clear, so it's a good good pick for them, the one they're comfortable on. And there's the Hanzo and Rexar picked up for logical decisions. I think I was talking about the Junkrat for the wrong team, but both of them are 4 and 2, so I didn't really get that wrong. Logical decision is going to take away the Hanzo. Going to take that Rexar for the top lane. Rexar, since his mild rework where they moved more power away from Misha and into Rexar himself, very dominant in solo lanes like Dragonshire and Braxis, where you can just use the Misha to hold a point. We see the Ana banned out from Uncomfortably Numb. Potentially going to see maybe a slightly unique healer from them, which is also interesting because, or actually, Uncomfortably Numb likes the mouth, so that's probably what they're aiming for, is the mouth. Playing a nice, slow, sustained game with the Garrosh, with the Junkrat. Trying to keep the Garrosh taking heals without actually replacing too much health so he can keep his armor sustained up a little bit. And logical decisions will ban out the Jaina, so banning out some wave clear options, some combo potential that Uncomfortably Numb might have been aiming for. I expect them to pick the mouth here, maybe their offlaner, and then hide their last damage dealer here, but they could also save the offlane pick. I'm not sure why you would, since the other team has already picked him up. Hide something else. You can also show the mouth now, because you don't want to be stuck in a position where you need to counter pick something, but you don't have a pick to do it because you're forced to pick your healer. We actually see the Alarek and Malfurion picked up. So there's the mouth that we were looking for, that they're 4 and 3 on. So it's a comfort pick for them, but it's only running slightly above 50%. The Alarak, though, very good burst, going to fill in that mage slot. Doesn't bring much in terms of wave clear unless you're going to use all your cooldowns for it, but could potentially go top lane to Harax, Rexar across Misha. Could be in the 4-man. He does have a couple Mosh interrupts if that's what you're looking for. And Lunara Tyrande picked up for logical decisions. Lunara very good at scaling into late game, very good on this map. We actually see her picked up a lot more frequently recently on this map because this map is starting to go longer as people get used to playing the objective a little bit slower and just trading points in the top and bottom over. And then the Tyrande, so they have a lot of CC coming out from ETC, the Rexar, and the Tyrande all having stuns. Then Tyrande can get a slow if she wants. Lunara has a slow. ETC has her knockback with a slow. We actually see the Malthael picked up by Uncomfortably Numb here to try to harass the Misha and Rexar, potentially. So a lot of execution power coming out from them between the Alarak and Malfurion. A lot of melee on their half, which could punish them with the Hanzo arrow or the Rexar, or a potential Mosh could also end up landing pretty consistently onto 2 or 3 of them, and that could be something that they want to watch out for as we're going to start loading into the game here going forward. For Uncomfortably Numb, we have Kicknaz on the Junkrat, Patches playing the Malfurion, great Hearthstone card, Famous playing the Garrosh, Pilot of Earth on the Mothale, and Thick Spectre on the Alarak. 4 logical decisions. Yeah, alright. Ulysses on the Rexar, Ziltoid on the Lunara, Snowglare playing the Tyrande, Hanzo's being piloted by Wafflecopter, and E-Day 15 on the ETC. Both their names starting with E there. Could be a sign of some potential synergy coming out from him. As we load into Dragonshire for game 1 of this series. Right away, we actually have Sentinel Wisp picked up for the Lunara, potentially going to get lots of vision in the Bermuda. Could stick it in one of these bushes and gain vision on all of them once it sits there. Pale Horse picked up for Mothale, so good for rotation power. Could potentially do a top mid double soak, allowing his team to focus more on the bottom lane pressure.
10 seconds.
We also have Telekinesis build potentially coming from the Alarak as he starts out with a Ruthless Momentum. Mothale deciding not to go straight top and is going to come down. Of course, the Loons chose it, and simple geometry from the Hanzo. Most people still going the Q build. I myself enjoy simple geometry. I think it's the W build still slightly edges it out. But very good on the bottom point. Frog Rock and then Bird build potentially from the Rexar build that some players I know prefer for the extra wave clear and the pressure that Rexar himself can do. Mothale getting his sun there. Garrosh trying to throw the Lunar and fails to do so, and then misses Q, and then he's going to get started getting CC, but good roots from Malfurion there will help mitigate that, and Mothale is still super low and needs to be careful here. The Wafflecopter does miss his Q, 130 health on Famous there, and we do see Lunar Sentinel in the Bermuda and taking all that vision. As the teams are just going to harass deck here a little bit. Oh, as the Lunar gets rooted and then pulled in silence, but not quite enough damage just yet. Famous going to need to be careful here on the Garrosh. He's down at 97 health, but he's going to get healed up by the Lunar Flare, or Moonfire from the Malfurion. He's going to end up backing here. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we have Malf and Rex are going back and forth a little bit here. Over time, I expect the Malfale to start edging out a win, but we'll have to see how he plays it, as another nice Telekinesis into Discord Strike there from the Alarak. We do see the trap here trying to provide a little bit of vision, but mostly deny that rotation if they're trying to edge too much in the rest of area. As Uncomfortably Numb starts into the Siege Camp. I'm having a hard time remembering which team is where. My bad. In the top lane, we do have Rexar capping it. In the bot, we had Malf and Alarak guarding that point. So teams are starting off in a 1-1 split of the objective, while Famous is moving over, scouting out the other Siege Camp. But there was the Wisp with E-Day 15 in the Bermuda. He's going to edge him out. Now this camp for Uncomfortable will start pushing forward here. Meanwhile, Junkrat's in the top lane now, and he's going to start harassing Ulysses on this Rexar, but Malthea is going to cap it. Bruiser Camp is actually going to be picked up by Logical Decision here, trying to focus more on the top side of the map, trying to help out the Rexar a little bit. Meanwhile, this Siege Camp is doing quite a bit of work down here. It's a good thing that Sylvanas is banned. If she was down here, this whole wall would probably already be gone. As Rexar is going to be able to use Misha in the top lane to start counteracting that. They're going to keep Junkrat up here to help clean up the Bruiser Camp for now, while Malthale is going to take this Bruiser Camp and probably back afterwards. That's what I imagine. He's going to cap it. He's going to mount up here, though. He's standing still. We'll see. Oh, he is going to back there. Meanwhile, Ziltoid on Lunar is going to cap bottom. ETC, maybe he's going to look for it. He sees the Garrosh there. He knows he's not going to get it right now. Meanwhile, Junkrat's in the top. He's trying to clean up the Bruiser Camp, but the Bruiser Camp for his team will help that out some. As in the bottom lane, we now have Hanzo and Tyrande on the Siege Camp here going forward. ETC using Power Slide to dodge the root from Patches there. Now we have the Siege Camp going in way of Logical Decision as Lunar gets hit by another Telekinesis Discord Strike. Though quite not picked up by Thick Spectre there, could have helped mitigate some of that dot damage and start regenerating his mana there. As we have the Wisp go in for the Sentinel vision, and then the Sun's coming out on Garrus. He's taking quite a bit of damage. His healer isn't down here just yet, but double Discord Strike for Thick Spectre there. Malthael in the top lane and Kappa, so that's going to be both objectives swapping sides pretty quickly here. As does Thick Spectre have it? He misses the Discord Strike on Lunara there, but he went for it. That's what we're looking for. ETC getting harassed by the Junkrat a little bit as Famous is going to move in, but Misha in the top lane going to cap that objective for them again. Hanzo in the bot doesn't have quite that much mana left on him, but he's going to be able to stand there on the point at least and auto attack things. Pash is now going to walk in, use the root. We do have Broccoli picked up for him. We'll pull up the talents as we are taking level 7 talents. I didn't even show level 4 talents yet. So Choking Pollen picked up by Lunar, so that's going to give her more early game pressure, but the Splinter Spear usually scales better as her poison damage scales pretty significantly going into the late game at the 5% instead of the standardized 4% that most things scale up. Broccoli already up to 4 stacks, doing a good job with those roots. Discord Strike him back into it, but it doesn't root a second time, unfortunately for them. We actually have Hungry Bear picked up for the Rexar, trying to mitigate some of that Malthael damage with Misha's own auto attacks there. They're going to start trading back and forth. I don't sure how that changes the dynamic up here. So far it doesn't seem to be doing much as he's not attacking with Misha at the moment. He's trying to push the wave. Rexar trade out the objective for wave clear, making Malthael choose what he wants to do there. Hanzo's going to cap the bottom lane. Rexar's going to cap the top lane, which is going to put the focus in the mid lane. And Ziltoid's going to try to channel. He's going to dodge the telekinesis strike Discord combo from the Alarak there. Vision coming out from Hanzo. He's trying to look to rotate up as it's now a 3v4 in the mid lane. Malthael is going to cap the top as Rexar had left it to try to come down and help his team inch out in an advantage. Junkrat's going to go straight bottom as well. Potentially going to swap both of it as ETC gets thrown into the towers, but there's not enough follow-up there to keep him CC'd. Meanwhile, he's going to take quite a bit of damage on Famous and might go down to Lunar damage as he's going to start getting healed up by the Malfurion. And it looks like that's going to be enough to save him down to 300 health there. Not too bad on that Malf healing for that. We do have Nature's Cure picked up, so he's going to have a nice AoE cleanse for anyone that has his Q on him ticking away. He's going to be able to cleanse that power slide and stuff coming out from logical decisions here. Oh, do I have the... Oh. And I missed that. I was fixing the overlay as chat pointed out. Mosh Pit going out on the Malfurion and on the Junkrat there. It's gonna, right as 10's picked up, they're gonna rip him right away. Meanwhile, Famous is going inside there again. Snowler getting a little low, but is gonna get out there. E-Day also getting low, is gonna get out. Stun on the Junkrat there. Sorry for missing that action, as apparently I hadn't quite cut everything. Now 10's are picked up for Uncomfortably Numb here. And we have a lot of the standard ults there. We actually have Deadly Charges of Counter-Strike coming out from the Alarak, which is an interesting choice, as it's now a 2v1 in theory up here. Ulysses is getting a little bit low, but Malthael not really having that much mana as he's forced to trade quite a bit. Trying to vision there. We're actually going to have a flank coming out. Pilot of Earth is probably going to die here. He dodges the Power Slide, 140 health, but he's going to die to the Leaping Strike from Lunara. Famous is starting to get low too, but a 3-man taunt from him. Malfurion's healing just not quite enough, and he's... Garrosh will fall there as well. Meanwhile, Riptire gonna finish off the Hanzo. Tronda down to 80 health and is gonna die to the grenade. Junkrat, a little spray there. Well earned indeed. As Ziltoid's gonna jump into towers, but it's gonna be the Alarak that falls to the damage coming out from E-Day and Lunar combined. Meanwhile, we have teams just starting to go back to their clearing there. They're still 1-1 on the objective. The longer this game goes, the better Ziltoid's going to be sitting, as he's going to scale very nicely with the poison damage coming out. And there was the effect of Choking Pollen, just kind of chunking like a quarter of Junkrat's health very quickly there, and then continue to tick down a little bit. Dodges the Q coming out from Famous on the Garrosh, as teams are... Both objectives are going to be captured here. We see E-Day moving in. We'll have Mosh available in 7 seconds right now. I like Deadly Charge onto Lunara, and then there's quite a bit of damage. And the root's going to come out, and she's going to end up falling to it. Mosh Pit just came up. We'll see if he ends up deciding to rip it here. Maybe Hanzo Arrow instead. E-Day's still getting under 90 health on him. He's going to end up falling here. Discord Strike missing on Wafflecopter. He's going to back out there. 2 kills in the bot lane against Logic there. As in the top lane, Pilot of Earth not doing so well in this boxing match. The Hungry Bear doing quite a bit of work there, forcing him to put in a lot more effort to kill the Misha Bear. We have Abolish Magic picked up by Lunara. Gonna be able to remove disabling effects like the little stuns, the roots and stuff, but not only from an ally but also for themselves. For herself. As Kink Naz is gonna try to channel here, but boars are gonna come out and the boars aren't gonna reach fast enough to stop the channel on the dragon. That is first Dragon Knight going over to Uncomfortably Numb. As E-Day is gonna take the kick here. That puts them at a 70% win rate advantage according to Hodslog stats. As Rexar is going to fall to Mothail there, he does get a stack on his ult, so that's how he did it. As the root comes out, Wafflecopter getting super low after getting thrown by the Garrosh and is going to fall here. As they start to push up with this Dragon Knight, going to take a wall. It's Thick Spectre in the back looking to charge over. We have the Starfall coming out from Tron. I don't know why I glimpsed on that name. They're going to get the well here, and that's going to be a pretty nice advantage, taking the wall and the well, while really severely denying the sustain from Logical Decisions in this bot lane. Taking the wall means they also have a harder time retreating, as both teams are going to start moving out. Both teams are going to take their siege camp. Meanwhile, Mothail was able to double soak a little bit in that mid-top rotation and catch him up. It's 6 kills to 6 kill right now. Very even so far in terms of fighting. We see the Mothail taking the Bruiser camp. We see the W quest getting finished by Hanzo here. Very strong. You're going to give him 2 extra scatter arrows when that ricochets out. Expect to see Pierce picked up by him at 16, but it's actually Uncomfortably Numb in the advantage here in terms of the race to 16. Both teams picking up Bruiser camp. Both teams collapsing into the bottom lane. We see the power slide missing there on Thick Spectre. But that might be a walk-up Mosh coming out from the ETC. He's going to get taunted, so he's not going to get it off as Malfurion falls. Thick Spectre's kind of low here, but he's going to be able to get out as well and tap the well from Famous and Thick Spectre. Are they going to look to move to the bottom one, or are they going to look to push in with the 1 siege? They're going to look to take the bottom Bruiser here, take that neutral camp, get some extra spell armor on them, and then move to push up E-Day, doing a good job of sitting posts with the help of the Sentinel Wisp. Famous is going to choose to not look down. Looks like they're questioning whether or not they want to, but they choose not to. They're going to pick up 16 here. They'll be able to take the camp out with the help of the 16 advantage, most likely. As we actually have all 5 down here from Logical Decisions, they're just going to start pushing up. As Famous is going to get stunned. He's going to pop Unstoppable so he can dodge any follow-up there, but there wasn't any follow-up coming up. Riptire going out onto 3 of them, it looked like. But they were under that spell armor, so they took 20% less damage as Misha goes up and starts hitting Famous in the face with her paws aplenty. Lunara going to leaping strike away from the Mothail that came around the backline. Alaric also dove in there. That is Junkrat dying, or taking out the Tyrande. Meanwhile, the Mosh Pit gets interrupted, but there's also no allies there to help him out, as now the Rexar's at 100 health. He's going to start to walk away, as Lunara is also going to TP back to base with her Hearth. Mothail heading to the top lane with the help of On a Pale Horse that he picked up at level 1. He's going to cap the top one. Famous is going to tap the objective. That should be objective going over them. First and second Dragon Knight, as we said before the match started, giving you an 84.8% win rate advantage going forward. So this should be, they're going to take a straight bottom. It looks like they'll probably take that forward. You have Feigned Death picked up. Invigorating Spores, some more attack speed, and then some percentage damage. Interesting. I don't normally see that. Normally you see Unfair Advantage come out from Lunara, really giving her some good damage into the late game. But instead we see that talent. Interested to see how that ends up helping. Now, it should be good to kill the Dragon Knight, though, with the percent damage and keeping 3 stacks easily on it. It is the Pierce picked up from Hanzo. Dragon Knight's down to 29% in 42 seconds. As they continue to look to poke here, Mothail's sitting up in the bush here, but is starting to rotate away. They decided they're not going to heavily commit. Never mind, he's going to rotate back down potentially, as they look to see how much Logical Decisions will chase out here. So we do have the Unstoppable picked up. ETC walking into the Mothail. He's going to power slide forward. Meanwhile, the charge coming out from Alaric onto Lunara. He's going to be able to Discord Strike 2 there before they back out. Hanzo arrow coming out, hitting 4. Not hitting the mouth to interrupt that ult quest quite yet. ETC gonna walk back into him W, and that is the unstoppable coming out from Mothiel. They're gonna kill off the bear. Two-man stun from Toronto, not too bad. Wafflecopter's gonna get out too. Only losing the bear. A lot of ults pop there. We still have Mothiel with his left. We still have charges left for Lunara, as they're gonna take the siege camp from Uncomfortably Numb here. And they're gonna kill off the Wisp as well. Poor Wisp. Rip. They're gonna probably back out. Probably just go take their own camp here and then push in with that one potentially as they gain vision on majority of the players from Logical Decisions. Alpha's going to soak up mid a little bit. Slight advantage going over to Uncomfortably Numb on the race to 20. They scout out the Garrosh in that. He's going to get stunned. Double stun. Going to get Leaping Strike, but he has the Unstoppable, so he is going to get out of there just fine. A little less than half his health bar. Between the tap of the well and Malfurion's own taking damage, he's going to be able to be just fine right now. As this game progresses, I expect Logical Decisions to start edging out more of an edge with Lunara scaling, and then Hanzo also doing pretty good job in the late game. Usually his 16 especially piercing arrows does a pretty good job, especially in the bottom point. You can ricochet quite a few times across the same couple people. Potentially a death mosh coming out from ETC, we'll see. I don't think he's died that many times. Twice. Maybe. Worth picking up in case he gets executed by the Mothiel, but we have the Bruiser camps being picked up by both teams. A little bit slower on Logical Decisions there, as ETC pings for help to Alarak pings for help to take the bottom Bruiser camp, while both points are being captured by Uncomfortably Numb here. 20 about to be picked up as we see Pilot of Earth just kind of zoning out with Misha there. Lunar is trying to cap bot, but has to deal with Junkrat Malthael there. Alaric in the bottom there, getting kind of low. If he ends up getting scouted out, could be pretty bad. No one stops death, picked up by Mothiel at 20. Only person who's picked is 20 just yet. A very strong 20 indeed. Especially if they end up losing a dragon or something where they have to defend pretty heavily. He ends up dying, he can come back right away to help with that defense, or could potentially be used in a more aggressive manner if he dies earlier. Cannonball picked up for Junkrat. Serenity picked up by Malfurion there, so some extra healing when he ults along with the armor. Double throw from the Garrosh, trying to looking to interrupt anyone with the bird, but no one was channeling just yet as they're trading out the objectives again here, and we're back to that little dance. Counter Strike picked up now for the Alarak, as he generally does grab his second ult at 20, as we have the throw come out on Lunara. Two-man stun from the Garrosh Q, but he's going to get return stunned once by Misha. He's going to use his Unstoppable on the Toronto stun there. As the teams start to fight here, ETC at about half health might be looking for a mosh soon, as Rexar doesn't have ult though. Misha's getting kind of low in the back there. Meanwhile, Mothiel's taking quite a bit of damage from the Lunara. Hanzo was sitting off to the side, able to poke out quite a bit as well. There goes Misha though, getting thrown in again. Misha death going over to Uncomfortably Numb there, as they're about half a level away from 20 on Logical Decisions. They're actually going to send Lunara top. Could be interesting to see how that plays out. With the Abolish Magic, she could remove Mothiel's tick damage from herself. ETC's up there now as well. That should be swapping sides relatively soon, as he's going to get stunned out. Double Leaping Strike, and he's going to fall. Meanwhile, Garrosh should be able to kill off the Hanzo. It looks like they took a aggressive rotate and spotted him on this camp. As 20 is now picked up for Logical Decisions. Actually have Shooting Star from Toronto. I really like that talent. I know it's not the best talent in most situations, but I think it's fun. As we have the charge coming out from Alarak, and he's going to throw him back out after his full combo on Lunara there. Not quite enough damage to finish her off, though. He does have 138 sadism, so if he were to die, he'd lose quite a bit of his power right now. He actually went Telekinesis into Discord build, as Kink Naz is going to look to channel the dragon, going to be interrupted by the Toronto out. They won't have a second one. That will be the third dragon going on to Uncomfortably Numb in a row here. As the Rexar is trying to keep the bottom camp from pushing up too much here, as they're actually going for the mid fort instead of going for a keep here. See, they're just going to take the fort, they're going to rotate down. They still have over a minute left on it. They have 97% health. They were able to take a couple extra buildings here in that case. as now they're going to start in on the bottom keys. That is a four-man stun with the Misha there from the Garrosh toss, as the Misha is going to fall there in the back line. 4 stacks, 4 Rexars. He did just barely get his ult off onto Misha right before she died. Thick looking to charge there. He's going to go in and silence 2 with the Discord Strike. Then going to get Power Slide. Counter Strike coming out from him. And the Counter Strike going to finish off Lunara as the 4 is coming out from Rexar. ETC going to get thrown away by the Garrosh. 3 seconds left on a mosh pit. That could be their turning point here for logical decisions that they're able to land it. They're going to need something for this defense. Only 8% left on the Dragon Knight, though, as there goes the Power Slide. There goes the Mosh Pit on 3, but getting interrupted by the Dragon going away. And he's going to get thrown and stunned out by the Garrosh as well. Misha going down a second time. There goes Tyrande as well. Junkrat, meanwhile, just piling damage on the core. 60% left on core. Pilot of Earth on the Mothfield trying to do some damage to the Hanzo. He's down to 400 health. He's going to dodge this scatter arrow, but he's going to die to the core damage, as that's game 1 going over to Uncomfortably Numb. As we wait for the in-game stats to load up here. Good game 1, went pretty late. Could have gone either way in the late game there. You see, Alrek actually did the most damage out of anyone on either team. Normally you'd see Junkrat or Hanzo with their ability to poke, but he was able to spam lightnings pretty well with his level 1 CDR. I think, is that CDR just for... No, yeah, it's just for telekinesis. So he was just spamming abilities. He's landed quite a few Discord Strikes as well. 14 kills to 9, so not about a 5 kill difference there. Rexar taking the most damage, which is because he was tanking the Mothtail quite a bit there in the top lane, and Junkrat was up there for a while as well. Mothtail being able to outsoak everyone with the effect of Pale Horse. A lot of XP just in general going over to Comfortably Numb. Junkrat doing tons of siege damage with the early rotations coming out from him. That was game 1 coming out from them. Did end up seeing that the confirmation of the heroic stat where first pick didn't win. So 25% win rate for heroic division on Dragonshire for whoever has first pick. Seems to be holding true, as we just saw first pick lose out to the ability to counter draft a lot on that map. Its draft matters quite a lot. Kira is currently banned from NGS still, as there is a waiting period of about 2 to 3 weeks usually. Basically, NGS tends to ban new heroes until there's that first balance patch afterwards. To answer your question in chat there. Going forward, I would expect logical decisions to probably take map pick. Try to find a map you're comfortable on. I mean, let's see, who picked that map? I'm trying to remember. Numb picked that map. Comfortably Numb picked it, because, yeah, logical decision at first pick. Duh. So I'd expect them to try to take map pick, potentially. Take them to another map that they're comfortable on. They seem to want to play for the late game, but kind of got... Losing the first couple of dragons just didn't quite help out, as they kind of picked the Rexar a little early, so we kind of got counter-picked in the top lane there. And they were able to pick up the Junkrat. Infernal Shrines was banned out there. Alright, so we have here that Comfortably Numb is telling me that Logic Decision chose to have first pick again, and that we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. We thank him for that information. Normally we find out the map when we just show up in lobby. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen, one of the smallest maps, if not the smallest map, though I think Haunted Mines was smaller in between the lanes. But if you count underneath, was a little bit larger. But it doesn't matter, because that map's A, not pickable in NGS, and 2, not even playable in Quick Match. So that's not really that important. So we're gonna go to Tomb. A lot of wave clears very important here. Early in rotations, we've seen some people try to swap it up a little, where they run the solo lane in the top and try to do a mid bot rotation, even though it's a little bit longer. Just try to throw the other team to be into something that they're not used to. So I wouldn't expect that here, but it's not impossible by any means. We could see Johanna's going to be contested again. We could see that Junkrat's coming out from either team again. Hanzo could come out again. So a lot of the same picks potentially coming out from both teams So probably not the Rexar. Not really a map that you generally take Rexar on. There's not really a point to hold, an objective point to hold. Though you do need to keep an eye on the objective points, so maybe they will pick him up to use Misha as a moving ward. Could see the Lunar for that as well. Though Lunar could also not be picked up in favor of something a little bit more early game, potentially maybe a Cassia. Cassia very good in the early game, along with Johanna and Stukov. Maybe we'll see that trio come out from a team. Though I don't know how many people really consider that trio that strong. In the early game, they are all very good. None of them really needing that many talents to be that good. Johanna be able to keep people in Stukov silence, throw the blind out from her, the blind from Cassia, and usually people just die. So it's a pretty much a go-to staple, I know, for some people for early game, if they're thinking about trying to just snowball from the early game. But yeah, we'll see. I know other people have other preferences for early game games. Smaller map also could mean Cho'Gall. Neither team has run Cho'Gall yet this season, but it'd be exciting. I'm all down for it. Be down for a lot of things, like a Cho'Gall. Ariel could be fun. I think Ariel is super underrated. As the teams are counting down to go into draft, and here we go. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game 2 in this best of 3 series. Logical Decision needs to pull a W out here if they want to take this to the Game 3 scenario to try to win this matchup. Or Uncomfortably Numb could be looking at a 2-0 as we wait for the first ban to come out. Could be the Johanna, could be the Junkrat, could be a lot of things. Could be Diablo, Medivh super strong on this map as well. As we wait for their first ban. Jaina was banned the last match out as well, though she was a third ban. Could see her banned, could see Gul'dan banned. Anything with a significant amount of wave clear is generally a decent ban for this map. We see the Anduin banned out again by Logical Decisions. Anduin, I'd say, is a healer, is someone that you need to have someone who plays Anduin to really make it worthwhile. If you're not used to playing Anduin, you usually don't get the same value from him. As you overuse or underuse the passive, not really having the timing down on the Light Bomb or the Holy Word Salvation. So there's a lot of different skill ceilings with him. As we see the Johanna ban again from Uncomfortably Numb, understanding that that is Logical Decision's go-to tank, trying to deny that from him. Also super good on this map in general for her wave clear ability. For this next ban, potentially the Diablo ban again from Logical Decisions, looking to just kind of go into the ETC that they did first pick. And he got a couple good moshes come out from him during the game, especially the first one that we missed. It's actually going to be the Mophael ban. Apparently they felt like that was too strong of a pick for Uncomfortably Numb, so they're going to just take that away from them. As we wait for the ban from Comfortably Numb, could be another tank ban, could be a healer ban, could be anything really. A lot of good bans on this map, a lot of good heroes right now in general. It's going to be the Chen banned out from them. Probably some scouting. I know at least one team has been playing Chen a decent amount of times. I think it's Logical Decision has been playing it. So, which makes sense, which is why Uncomfortably Numb would be banning it. It's going to be the Junkrat going over to Logical Decisions this time. There are 4 and 2 Junkrat. No, 5 and 2 for Uncomfortably Numb. Both teams favoring it, knowing that they have to first pick it, so Ziltoid's going to just snap pick that for them. Going forward here, I like it. I think if you're comfortable on it, I think you should get it. I think he's pretty good. Got a lot of poke, decent amount of damage, good rip tires, can go a lot. Has the option to potentially double soak top where your team rotates down to try to heavy push bot. We have the ETC and Thick Spectre coming back out on the Alarak saying we're going to take this before you have a chance to ban it out because we liked it. He did quite a bit of damage in the last game, topping the damage charts with 60k damage. So look to see that again. A lot of good Discord strikes coming out from him as well. As we see Logical Decisions looking to pick up probably tank support here is what I would pick. But they're going to take the Rexar Jaina again. So they're going to go back to that Rexar, which is what they banned the Malthael from, saying you countered it once, find something new. Jaina coming out, so that's just a lot of wave clear from Logical Decisions for men. They are forced to last pick tank and support here. Or they could run something spicy with main tank or something else. No main tank, no healer maybe. Something real spicy. Main tank Rexar. I would like to see main tank Uther. Diablo going to be banned out by Uncomfortably Numb. So Logical Decisions will have a chance to ban out a support maybe, but they're also in need of their healer, so probably not. Most likely it's going to be an off-lane ban. Maybe the Varian. He's also very good into the Rexar with Twin Blades. So we will have to wait and see what happens there, as they have 3 more seconds left before they must give us their ban, or lack thereof. And it's going to be the Raynor ban coming out from them, trying to deny some sustained damage. Potentially also could have been used in the solo lane against the Rexar, just kind of right click until Misha's gone. Could have taken the level 1 infinite second quest down there. As we're waiting for these picks from Uncomfortably Numb, I expect their healer picked up here, and it's going to be the Ana picked up by them, potentially nano boosting this Alarak into the sky, as well as being able to deny healing from the enemy team. And there's the Greymane picked up by Uncomfortably Numb. Greymane also super good. Lots of high damage characters going in favor of Uncomfortably Numb right now. Alarak and Greymane in general. And then nano boost from Ana and Mosh Pit potential coming out from the ETC. So very good setup into lots of damage potential from them. Logical Decisions will have to think about how they want to counter that. They're going to take Sanctification Tyrael, though it could be Judgment, I guess. We don't know for sure yet. And they're going to go back to the Tyrande for Snowglare there. I'm interested to see how the Tyrael picked out. His shielding does help against this damage. Lots of mobility from him. Can have some mana issues if you're not careful, but Sanctification could be used to counteract quite a bit of damage from Uncomfortably Numb, which is what they're looking for. Could be Judgment, and they just hard Judgment, stun with Tyrande the Ana, and try to take her out of every fight. And it's going to be the Sonya picked up as the last pick for Uncomfortably Numb. Potentially a leap game. Try jump the Junkrat Jaina in the back with the Alarak, who did go Deadly Charge last game. And the Deadly Charge potential with the leap could instantly delete quite a few of the squishies. Really anyone on Logical Decisions, if you think about missing Misha and going straight for the Rexar. As we head into Game 2 of this series on Tomb of the Spider Queen, we have Pilot of Earth on the Sonya, King Naz playing the Greymane, famous ETC, Patches on the Ana, Thick Spectre playing the Alarak, Ulysses back on the Rexar, Zeltoid on the Junkrat, Snowglare playing Tyrande, Waffle Copter on the Jaina, and E-Day 15 playing the Tyrael. As we enter into Tomb of the Spider Queen, Game 2 of this series, as we look for Logical Decisions to pull out the comeback reverse sweep if they can. As we look at the talents here, we see the grenade build coming out from Ana, pretty standard. Warpaint coming out from the Sonya, so she's going to be able to box and take camps pretty easily. Rexar going back into the Bird of Prey build. Frogwalk coming out again. Telekinesis at level 1 from the Alarak. Justice for All from Tyrael. The pretty standard talent for him to get the extra shielding for his allies as the owl goes out and is going to hit Pilot of Earth, dismounting him. Pash is going to heal that up and say, no, you don't get to do damage just yet. Junkrat setting up in the top there, trying to deny some of that rotation. He's going to get pinged out by Famous as he sees. He's going to go ahead and eat that root. Ana's going to make sure he doesn't take too much damage from that as the teams start to collide with the first wave, looking to wave clear. There's the Tyrande stun on the Greymane. Misha are taking quite a bit of damage. There is the Blizzard from Jaina, so Wafflecopter understands he can just leave that lane now, but instead they're going to try to put damage here on Famous, as instead they're going to also put damage on Misha there. Less than half health left on Misha as both teams rotate into the top lane while Sonya Rexar going to the bottom. Anna's still in mid here. Needs to be careful that she's not healing her teammates, so they need to be aware of that going forward in that scenario. As Blizzard going out, good job from Logical Decision setting up their rotations here. Gonna just clear and move on to the next wave. Greymane need to be careful. If he understands that they're doing this, then he understands that they're gonna be right there on top of him. He's gonna take a cue from Jaina, and that's about all she wrote in terms of damage for that exchange. Pilot of Earth already below half health here in the bottom lane, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as Ulysses is doing a good job of zoning him out and putting damage on him, probably stunning out his spin to wins as Famous is taking a bit of damage there from the Jaina Junkrat combination. He's going to get healed up by Patches here. Pretty good healer. Pretty good in general. And we have the sleep going out on the Tyrael, which is going to cause the Discord Strike to miss from the Alrek there. In the bottom lane, we actually still have about the same amount of health there on Pilot of Earth, as both teams are going to look to clash again soon. Potential Thick Spectre is going to try to turn in his 9 gems, but isn't quite going to get it here. Neither team having a turn in, but a slight advantage in terms of gens going over to Logical Decisions. They need to be careful though, with the Tyrael. They don't really have that much CC in the early game, especially. They don't really quite get it. They kind of get softer options. The Sanctification being a type of CC when your team can't be CC'd. We see Ulysses trying to turn in here. Pilot of Earth going to move in. Misha's going to come up behind. Thick Spectre's there to help. Discord Strike going to go out on both the Bear and the Ogre Orc. I shouldn't have tried for that. On the Rexar as well. As we still have the rotation coming out from Logical Decision here. They're doing a very good job of sustaining that, as they're putting out quite a bit of damage on the Famous there. And ignore that. As they're trading back and forth. Even if I wanted to, I can't reply to that. Can't reply to whispers in custom games. E-Day gonna get slept there while he tries to turn in the bottom lane. We're gonna have Hunter Gatherer this time come out from the Rexar. Gonna look to get that armor for him, Rexar and Misha. Silence going out on the Tyrael. He's also gonna get Power Slave. So is he gonna be put on top of him as a way of peeling out for him? Pilot of Earth is going to move down as well. He's going to start to turn in his 14 here. Both teams looking for that first objective, trying to secure as many gems as they can very soon, and that's an objective option for Logical Decisions if they can turn in the 50 that they have on their persons. Meanwhile, Ulysses on the Rexar is going to take the siege camp in the bottom lane, as in the middle we have damage being traded back and forth. Not enough for anyone to die just yet, but enough to keep Patches having to heal along with Snowglare there. Should take a quick peek at the healing number. We actually have Rexar topping heal right now. Tranda is actually below ETC even. No, he doesn't have Prog Rock just yet finished. He's done quite a bit of self-healing, and that's kind of an important note, because that's less healing that Patches has to do to him. In the bottom lane, we actually had Greymane rotate down, so Sonya and Greymane going to actually secure the bottom camp that Ulysses did so much work on. Both teams available to turn in now and get the spiders coming down, as Greymane is going to finish off Zoltoid there on the Junkrat. XP is pretty much even right now after that kill, though 7 will be picked up a hair faster for Uncomfortably Numb, as Power Slide on 2 and the Discord Strike hits the Jaina there. I'm sorry, I was waiting to see if anything else was going to happen and nothing did. Pilot of Earth is going to turn in all of his gems in the bottom lane there, as level 7 is picked up for both teams now. Yeah, pretty standard talents from everyone right there. And it's in fact going to be turned in the top lane for Uncomfortably Numb. First spider wave going to them in this game. We actually see a different level 7 picked up by the Alrak in this game. So slightly change in his playstyle as we wait for the spiders to spawn. They will spawn at the first wall, or first structure for the enemy team, or their farthest out minion wave, as Famous is getting quite low here. He's going to end up following down after he took quite a bit of damage. So there's the sleep on the Junkrat. Could have been used slightly earlier if it was not on cooldown. Try to save Famous on the ETC. It's going to make it a little bit harder for them to push up without their tank here. Zoltoid moves to clean up the top spider as fast as they can, as they're going to burn down the mid one. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, we have Patches and Pilot of Earth trying to push into this Rexar. They're going to get at least a tower down here. There he goes. Top lane's gonna got the gate, but isn't gonna quite get the tower. He is gonna get the tower as they weren't clearing the minions quite fast enough in that. They're not gonna get that second tower, I don't think, as Tyrael is gonna throw his sword forward at Pilot of Earth. Gonna give himself that 25 armor that he gets when that sword is out there. 31 health left on that top tower. 4 logical decisions. Being able to defend that just enough there. As we have both teams trying, as we have logical decision trying to turn in again here, getting pinged out. They know they're there, but they're not moving up to stop them, so that's going to be a turn in. They're short 7 actually. They need Ulysses to turn in, or Wafflecopter. We'll see which one gets to turn in first. Wafflecopter's going to secure the turn in for his team, and then they're going to use the Tyrael Smite to speed boost out using his level 7 talent. 17 globes for Jaina, 18 globes for ETC so far. Bruiser Camp pushing forward there. So they're going to quickly burn that out on logical decision to help push in with the Spider. We have the Junkrat Greymane in the top lane there. So it's going to be quite a reversal story in that scenario, as we have quite a few people in the bottom lane pick off the Sonya there. Doing a good job of picking people off when I'm not looking, as 10s are picked up now for both teams pretty much at the same time. We do have the Deadly Charge, but we're actually going to get Wrath of the Berserker come out here in the top lane. Meanwhile, we have Greymane trying to defend this against 3. He's going to get stunned underneath the Blizzard. He's going to take half his health bar. He needs to be careful as Famous moves up. Could potentially see a 3-man mosh, but maybe not quite enough follow-up just yet for his liking. And logical decision backed out before we really had the opportunity there, as E-Day was able to zone him out and dismount him. As both teams are posturing around here in the top lane, a little bit of lightning poke coming up from Thick Spectre onto the Tyrael. Tyrael throwing his sword, gonna look for something there. It is the Sanctification from him. There's also Water Ellie coming out from the Jaina. Pretty common a lot of times these days to see the Water Ellie over the Ring of Frost, as Uncomfortably Numb has a turn-in option here that they're going to start looking towards. They're going to turn in an additional 14 there, 7 in the bottom lane. I think they're going to need a little bit more. Ana's going to turn in hers here. Pash is going to secure that turn-in for them. And they're just trading turn-ins back and forth. There's the Bruiser Camp coming out from logical decisions right now. As looks like Uncomfortably Numb is going to look to push top lane. Nope, they're heading back down to mid lane. Pick a lane, guys. I'm trying to seem accurate in my predictions. And they're going to clear out the Bruiser Camp. That was their intention there, as they're going to go ahead and push forward. They actually have all 5 here in the mid lane. Going to look to heavily push potentially there, as Rexar's in the bottom lane clearing out that Spider. So they have the numbers advantage. Mamus is looking to get onto the side for a good power slide and mosh potentially, as Wafflecopter almost gets caught out on the wrong side of the gate. There's the Junkrat Mine seen down, trying to deny some placements from his team. He's going to blow it up to try to chip the damage into the Spider Wave there. We only have 4 here. As soon as you move to the top lane to take that fort down. And they're trading in here. The Spider's down to less than a quarter health. And there it's going to go down even further there. And it's about to fall down as Rexar also shows up here to the mid lane. Meanwhile, Sonya in the top lane going to fall that fort to the ground. Bottom Spider also about eighth of a health bar left. As Misha's going to start getting damaged here by ETC. Alaric's going to push it around with telekinesis a little bit. Nothing really going to come of that. Meanwhile, in the top lane we have multiple ults being popped. There, Riptire coming out, but Riptire might not have time. Riptire is going to explode onto the ETC and Sonya. Meanwhile, Misha's going to fall in there. Rexar going to go down to the Starfall coming out from Tyrande here. Greymane's getting pretty low as well and is going to also fall down as the Water Ellie was attacking minions there in the back. Going to charge forward, but it's going to time out there. Ziltoid's going to do a little bit more damage to Pilot of Earth there and grenade them forward. Just going to say, I want you out. Meanwhile, we have turn-in available for logical decisions. Will they just trade turn-in again? We'll see how they go as we see the Sleep Dart miss from Patches there. 12 going to be turned in the bottom. Meanwhile, 12, 9, 4, 22 coming in from the top. They are going to secure another Spider Wave if... Yep, that's just going to be it. Yep. No time to respond to that rotation and speed on the turn-in coming out from logical decisions. This is like the 4th Spider Wave this game already in 10 minutes. Which is pretty ridiculous. That's a lot of gems being turned in. That's a lot of going back and forth as we have E-Day getting into the middle through him. He's actually going to teleport in there. He's going to dodge the telekinesis Discord, but he is going to take power slide. But there's no follow-up damage for that stun coming out from them, as we have all 5 here from Logical Decisions in the top lane, looking to open that up for potentially a boss play later on. Meanwhile, Sonya's defending the bottom objective. Logical Decision needs to make use of this man advantage, as Misha's just going to get auto-attacked down by the Greymane there. And there goes the spider as well. Meanwhile, Sonya cleared bottom spiders. She's going to move up to start clearing out the mid spiders. She's going to try to save this fort, but isn't going to be quite fast enough, as Alrek charges forward and hits the Rexar with his combination. Boar's going to come out onto 3. Sonya, Alrek, and Greymane going to eat that to the face. Beware the boars, but nothing's going to come of anything here. Teams are just kind of trading a little bit back and forth here on their ults without getting much success in either way. Nothing's really sticking just yet for anyone. Mid fort gone for Uncomfortably Numb. Logical Decision missing both top and bottom fort here. Slight passive XP advantage for them, as Misha's going to fall to, I think, a minion hitter. She got hit by the power slides. It was really what secured her death there. 19 globes for Hunter Gatherer, about to finish that out, and that's going to effectively increase Rexar and Misha's health by 15% as the charge comes out onto the Jaina and the Mosh Pit, but there's the Sanctification. She's going to walk out and then walk back into it. Starfall also coming out to try to heal them up. Jaina's going to end up falling, though, as ETC's, or Alrek's going to also fall there. Greymane's kind of low as well, but he's going to get healed up by the Ana a little bit. Meanwhile, Sonya's spinning to win into the middle of the enemy team, and that's going to be Misha falling down as well. Riptire's out, going to try to pop, but is end up going to fall down before it has a chance to explode. No damage coming out from Riptire there. Pilot of Earth going to start getting healed up. They were fighting underneath the Bruiser armor there, and that seems to persuade slightly in favor of Uncomfortably Numb as they go to start their turn in, though they don't quite have enough gems. And there's Hunter Gatherer finish for the Rexar, giving him and Misha the armor that they need to start surviving a little bit longer in these fights. 1-for-1 trade, as the kills are 4-4 at level 15. Uncomfortably Numb about to edge out a 16 advantage by about a quarter of or a third of a level here, as soon as picking up the siege camp in the bottom lane. Alice coming out from the Toronto, scouting out that Patches and King Naz are turning in and the bottom objective. And that's going to be another spider wave coming out, as 16 advantage is picked up for Uncomfortably Numb. The 16 should be picked up in time for Logical Decisions to defend the spider wave. And they also get the Bruiser camp here to help them out. It's the Feigned Death again from the Rexar here, as the ETC is going to get CC. He's going to get rooted by the Jaina. He's going to start walking away. Mine is going to knock him out of there, as Logical Decisions understand that Bruiser camp is going to do quite a bit of work, but Comfortably Numb is still there, and they're going to be able to clean up that Bruiser camp relatively quickly. And meanwhile, they're going to move to the bottom lane, start damaging that one. They're going to leave Rexar to finish that up as they move back up to protect this mid fort, trying to keep the field on their side as closed off to Uncomfortably Numb as they can. They need to be careful, though. They can't really afford to die here, as they'll lose their gems for their potential turn in as the spider wave goes out. Junkrat just throwing forward his Qs, but not quite enough here, as Alrek looks to charge in. He's going to get nano boosted even on the side there. He's still waiting for something, but Logical Decision sitting behind the wall, making the logical decision to not step out, knowing that was a play. So that's a nano boosted wasted for Uncomfortably Numb there. Though if it had panned out for them, it would have been quite the play, as the mid spider is now going to fall. Bottom spider already fallen, top spider is already fallen. They're pushing in here. Sleep on the Junkrat, but Discord Strike on the Tyrael. There's the power slide on Waffle Copter. Boars went out as well. Misha peeling off the backline pretty well. Famous, they're getting kind of low. Riptire's going to come out. We'll see if he can get it to explode this time, as he is going to get it to explode on 3. There's Sanctification, but there's no follow-up damage to counteract it. The Ana getting slowed by the Owl there. Sonya trying to peel, but that's his 2-man stun coming out as well from the Tyrande, and that's going to finish off the Ana there, as Sonya is going to finish walking out. And now it's going to be Logical Decision's turn to turn in, and we're going to have another spider wave come out relatively soon, as Wafflecopter is going to start the boss in the top lane, looking to go for the boss turn in play here. They're going to have 5 gems left to turn in, and once they finish this boss play coming out, it should be sniffed out by Uncomfortably Numb. There's not much they can do with it when they're down 2 members here. They don't have enough gems to turn in to do a spider wave versus the boss. Instead, they're going to have to deal with both the boss and the spider wave, as actually no one's capping it just yet. They're not quite sure. They're going to turn in and then cap it, it looks like. Yeah, so they turned in. They're going to clear up the bottom a little bit. They're going to cap the boss here. Trying to stack the wave, the boss, and the spider all at the same time for the maximum push potential. This is going to require a 5-mana defense from Uncomfortably Numb. As there goes the Alaric trying to finish off the Tronda as fast as he can. That's all of his cooldowns though. Feign Death coming out from the Rexar there as well. Not sure why. As Misha's going to get pretty low here, she's going to be pulled back in. She's going to die as Boars also went out from the Rexar here. Meanwhile, Water Elemental is going on the Sonya. She's at half health. There's the Riptire coming out. They're going to knock it back. It's going to explode and hit 2 at least there. Mosh Pit going to come out on 3, 4. He's going to use the... Wow, quite a good play there from Tyrell. He's going to move it, but it's not going to be quite enough as the Alaric now has Nano Boost, and they're going to finish off 2 already. Looking to finish off the Junkrat as well. 200 health on the Junkrat. Tyrell peeling there. There goes the Sync as well. Junkrat is going to run back into the Sync, but the Sync times out right as he shows up, and he's going to die to the Alaric Lightning as Mosh Pit, not Mosh Pit, Power Slide coming out from the ETC onto the Tyrell isn't going to quite be enough to finish him. Meanwhile, Sonya is doing damage to the boss. Boss is pretty low. Spider's pretty low in the top lane there. They're going to be able to defend the keep, but probably will still end up losing the entire wall here. Meanwhile, mid Spider took... The fort was already gone. Took the whole keep wall. Rexar needs to be careful. He's kind of low, but there's not really any damage going to come out from Logical Decision in that case. ATC is going to head to the bottom lane, clean that up a little bit. We do see the whole wall gone, but no damage onto the well or the keep there. Same mid lane loses the well, but not the keep. As Pilot of Earth is going to start taking the camp for his team, ETC pretty far out here. Needs to be careful to not get ganked out of this bush, but meanwhile, instead, Logical Decision is going to take the Bruiser camp here. Trading Bruiser for Bruiser camp. Uncomfortably Numb, a little bit closer to turn in for another Spider Wave. His 20s are already picked up for Uncomfortably Numb here, so they're going to be looking to fight potentially. We actually have Blink on ETC, as he might be forced to use it as soon as he's going to get hit by the board. Tronda L. Tronda Stun's going to miss. Meanwhile, Junkrat's going to mine himself forward, trying to get in position. He's going to start poking out. But Famous is doing a good job of getting out there when after getting hit by some of that CC and dodging the rest of them. Junkrat going to mine himself away to not get caught by Famous there. Famous is looking for the Blink Mosh Pit. Though he still has 10 seconds left on the Mosh Pit, it is going to be the charge forward from Alarak there. He's going to telekinesis back, but it doesn't matter. They're too far away from him already. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have ETC going on the Tyrell. We have the Sonya chaining over to the Toronto. They're trying to do their best to pick off the healer from Logical Decisions the best they can, but they have plenty of tools to knock them away or peel for them. As we have the top wave pushing in. Meanwhile, the Bruiser camps are clashing the mid wave. We do see that the Bruiser camp for Uncomfortably Numb is edging out quite an advantage there, but it doesn't matter if Uncomfortably Numb shows up and just finishes off anyways. Famous is still positioned super far forward. His team is not quite there, even if he was to land something. But now that they're there, the Rexar's going to go down. He's going to get Power Slip there, speared as well, slept, W'd back. He's going to feign death. They already killed the Rexar, it looks like, but Misha is going to fall there. Rexar he's going to stand up in the Sanctification. He's going to back up. Mosh Pit onto 3, though. Tyrael going to fall down. There goes Jaina and Misha as well. There goes Rexar finally onto the side. Tronda at half health, Junkrat about 3/4 health. As they're going to start pushing in here, they do have a turn-in available for Uncomfortably Numb. But they're going to look to take the keep first, as they're trying to tank it with Sonya here, but she's kind of low. They need to be careful. She might end up falling. She's going to pop her shield talent at 16, and then she's going to get out there. She's going to keep getting healed up by the Ana. We see the Ana sustained healing coming out in play there. Junkrat is just going to get murdered by the Ala right there as he hits every single one of his 5 abilities onto him. And they're just going to push in and look for a core push. They got about 28 seconds left on the Jaina, 25 on the Tyrael, 30 plus on the other 2, so it's just Tronda right now. Snowglare looking to figure out how to defend this, and meanwhile you have 4 killing the core. They're calling GG already, and that's going to be a 2-0 if it is. In fact, Zoltoid already left the game, as that is in fact going to be game 2 going over to Uncomfortably Numb. A very well played series from both teams as they went to the late game, both times able to keep either team from snowballing too hard. We see the Alarak at the top of the damage chart. It was pretty close this time between his Alarak and Ziltoid's Junkrat there. Greyman's sitting a little bit lower, but nope, Alarak secured most of the kills with him, but maybe he was just doing finishing blows, but he wasn't. Rexar topping the tank damage again. So Pilot of Earth topping no, last game, no, yeah, Pilot of Earth topping the XP soaked both games. It's a good job to him for gaining the XP for his team to get all of these level leads. just a slight bit faster there. Siege damage going over to the Greymane, that's what he was doing that whole game. Healing ended up being Ana, then ETC, then Tyrande. So that difference in sustained damage pushing it in favor of Uncomfortably Numb. There, as that is our series. I will reach out to them here to see if they want to do a post-game interview. But what a series coming out from them. Very, very good. They ended up closing out both games. The first game was, I thought was a little bit surprising there, as I thought that the Scaring Lunara would give them an advantage. Try to find. We wait for Famous is going to show up, and he's going to talk to us about these games here. Any second now, he'll just pop into the lobby. I'm sitting in waiting for him. Hello, Famous.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm alright. How are you feeling after that series?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Fun time. Yeah.
It seemed fun. You guys seemed to... It went to the late game both times. Late game games tend to be fun as you get to see the full potential of your hero with all of your talents.
Yeah, for sure.
So you landed a couple good moshes there in the second game. So we'll start talking about those. There was the one in the top lane right after the boss spider turn in from Logical Decisions where you caught 3, but then Tyrael nudged you over with his blocking field. Did that take you by surprise that he was able to pull that off?
No, I mean it was he was playing pretty solid tanking for pretty much the whole game. What is funny though is that as soon as he pulled me, Alarak pulled their whole team right back into it.
Yeah, I caught that.
It worked out in the end, but no. He E-Day was playing some exceptional tanking. It was a good fun tank matchup for sure. I got chunked pretty hard for most of game 2. But we had a lot of burst damage, and Alarak, THC Spectre on Alarak is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, he had it in both games. Top damage in both games. Pilot of Earth, topping the XP soaked in both games. In fact, you on the ETC had the second highest healing, out healing the Tyrande in the third game even.
Yeah, Snowglare, I believe, is not their typical support player. Usually it's Wono. So I think he was missing tonight, and that probably was an effect. Plus, Toronto has to get those auto attacks in, which is pretty hard to do against a high burst comp like ETC, Alarak, Greymane. It's pretty scary to step up and get those autos to get the CDR. So rough game for him.
Yeah, rough indeed. Going back to game 1, you guys used the Mothale against the Rexar. Were you expecting them to pick the Rexar that early into the draft?
I was expecting the Chen actually. That the Rexar was gonna be the follow up, but but I was expecting the Chen, and the Malthael was kind of just gonna be a counter to either or because he plays really well into them, and yeah.
He did pretty good. I think he ended the first game with like 7 ult kills, though he did ult Misha once when she was at like 10 health. So,
yeah, does that work? I didn't even know. He was asking mid-game, and we were like, I don't know.
Yep. You get a stack, as long as you cast it onto them, and then they die, well, it's either from that damage or while under it, then you get the stack on it.
So, nice. Well, that's good then.
He did seem to have a little bit of trouble there. Post level 13, Misha was using her level 4 auto attack lifesteal pretty well to counter that.
Right.
Meanwhile, what was the other 4 of you doing? You guys rotated Junkrat up there pretty early on.
Yeah, so they I've watched a couple of their games on Dragonshare. They tend to get the hard camp early and then just super push top lane. So I was kind of anticipating that, so we'd set up the hard camps to meet and then have Junkrat to clear theirs. So that's why.
Alright, so that was all pre-planned. Yeah, they did take it pretty early. You guys used the siege camp on the bottom lane to push in during that. I was talking about how you guys, where is it? You guys who banned the Sylvanas that game?
Yeah. They really like the Sylvanas.
Sylvanas would have done a lot of work on either team that game with those camp pushes coming out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was a solid ban from you guys. Trying to think what else went on. That seems like so long ago. Game 2 was so close, and then back and forth, lots of spiders in game 2.
Yeah, for sure. I thought they were going to be a little bit lower on the gem count with the Rexar kill early in the game, but I guess they managed to get a lot in the 4-man.
Yeah, at 10:30 was the fourth spider wave was coming out from either team,
Right.
which is just a lot of spiders very quickly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Uh,
Not a lot of stalling going on, so.
so you guys were able to shut down them in game one, keeping the Lunara from getting too much value from her scaling. Yeah, I don't know if I had a question for that.
Well, I have a comment. The
All
Lunar
right.
was incredibly frustrating to play into. I don't think I've ever played a Garrosh into a Lunara, but that is like, it is brutal.
Lunara
Poison
is
damage.
generally pretty annoying.
Yeah, but like this slow, so I couldn't actually get onto and threaten her, especially with her extra move speed. But yeah, it was Ziltwide played the Lunara pretty well. So.
Did you know that both teams favored the Junkrat?
I did, yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Did you know both teams were 4-2 before the series on Junkrat?
I did not know that.
Yeah, you guys both had Junkrat as your second most popular picks, and both had the same record on them.
Wow. Was unaware. We pick the Junkrat pretty
Yeah.
often. So.
Yeah. Any shoutouts that you want to do?
Yeah, for sure. So we're playing at Click Esports in Ottawa, Ontario. If anyone's ever in town, it's right off of Maryville. It's a great atmosphere. Lots of people play HOTS here, so it's a good place to play. Shout out to you, the caster. Look forward to watching the replay, and shout out to our opponents, Logical Decision. They played a great series. So.
They did. Yeah. So coming from me, shout outs to both teams for putting on such a great match. It's very fun to watch and to cast. A lot of comments from people in Twitch chat tonight, even talking about how close the games were, and going back and forth, and good discussion coming from them as well. So you might want to keep that open when you're watching the replays.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Will definitely be watching.
Yeah. Shout out to NGS for putting the whole thing on, and I think that's it. Thank everyone for coming out and watching. We appreciate it as always. See you guys next time in the Nexus.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.